The small town of Ashbourne, tucked deep in the countryside, was shrouded in mystery. Its dense forests whispered with secrets, and its oldest residents spoke in hushed tones about the legend of the Shadow. Amelia, a daring filmmaker, decided those whispers were perfect for her next project. One frigid moonlit night, she packed her camera, a flashlight, and a notebook, determined to capture the eerie beauty of Ashbourne's forest. The air felt heavy as she stepped into the woods. Branches reached out like skeletal fingers, and the silence was so complete it felt alive. Every crackle of a twig beneath her boots sent shivers through her spine. At first, the darkness seemed ordinary, just the absence of light. But as she moved deeper, the shadows grew wrong. They stretched unnaturally, twisting and curling as if they had a mind of their own. Her flashlight flickered once, then again. She paused, reviewing the footage she had just taken. At first glance, it was ordinary, a quiet forest. But as she zoomed in on the playback, her breath hitched. A figure stood in the distance, barely discernible, its edges blurring into the darkness. It didn't move. Amelia whispered to herself, "It's just the trees, or a trick of the light." Her whisper was answered by the faintest sound. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, and heavy. They matched her own, echoing behind her. She spun around, heart pounding, but the woods were empty. A cold wind swept through the trees, carrying with it an unsettling sound, a low hum that built into a rasping whisper. She couldn't make out the words, but the tone chilled her. Her flashlight flickered again, and when she looked down, she gasped. Her shadow wasn't alone. Beside it loomed another, taller and darker, with jagged edges that seemed to flicker like fire. It didn't belong to any person or tree. It was just there. Panic surged through her as she stumbled backward. The shadows seemed to move with her, stretching and shifting. The whispering grew louder now, forming words. "Leave now, or stay forever." She turned to run, her breaths sharp and shallow. The sound of crunching leaves behind her quickened. Her mind raced. Was someone or something chasing her? She didn't dare look back. The shadows ahead twisted together, forming a wall of impenetrable darkness. Her flashlight was useless now, its beam swallowed by the void. She tripped, her camera skidding away into the dirt. Crawling forward, she reached for it, but froze as a low growl emerged from the darkness. From within the swirling shadows, two glowing red eyes opened, locking onto her. The forest seemed to exhale, the cold air pressing against her chest like a weight. "You saw me," the voice rasped, deep and guttural. "Now they will see you," Amelia screamed, but the sound was muffled, swallowed by the shadows. They swarmed around her, pulling her into their endless void. Her camera lay forgotten, recording the scene in eerie silence. The next morning, a local hiker discovered her camera resting against the base of a tree. The footage ended abruptly, showing Amelia's terrified face, her outstretched hand reaching toward the lens as darkness consumed her. No trace of her was ever found. But now, hikers who dared to enter Ashbourne's forest claimed to see something moving in the corner of their eye, a shadow that isn't theirs. Some swear they hear her voice, faint and pleading, "Leave now, or stay forever."